Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Equinox. What is up, Eileen?
Hey, not much. Happy Equinox, everybody.
Beautiful. And we get you in the daylight now that we're doing them in the afternoon, which is nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to get us both on the screen right here. All right.
Hello, everybody.
So, first day of spring, this is that balanced energy, people waking up from the Mandela effect, hopefully. That was one thing that was really wild about, finding out so many people, for some reason, seem to notice it around those equinoxes, whether it's
Yeah, I
the
think mine
spring or
was
the fall.
I think mine was the fall equinox. I noticed it the same year that you noticed it at the spring equinox.
Oh, wow. That's
Because then I
crazy.
found your channel around then and you'd been on since like February, right? 2017.
Yeah.
It does God, that seems ages ago and it's not that long ago.
So many Mandela effects. And, just having that spring feeling, I'm taken back to that moment when it was so magical. It was really wild. You know what I mean? It freaked me out a little bit, but I didn't go too negative with it like a lot of people.
No.
I guess life was sort of, I don't know, drab, boring, and everything at that time anyway. So it was like, wow, everything. It was like the sci-fi show I just got dropped into, and I was like so hungry to figure out what the heck was going on. You know what I mean? And
I was the
those early
same.
days were awesome.
I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. That means we are in a hologram. There are multiple dimensions. String theory is true. It just seemed to verify everything that I've been reading for decades and
Right?
figured, oh, I think that sounds about right. That sounds okay. But
Right?
there was no proof, that we
Right.
live in multiple worlds.
So for you, you were kind of like, oh gosh, I guess where I was for that last year when I'd heard about it, but I kind of knew things might have happened, but I didn't really believe it in the deepest part of me, or it wouldn't have been such a trip when I realized, oh my gosh, it's really happening. Were you like that for years when your mom would talk about stuff? Would you just think, or
Yeah, I thought
did
there's
you know for
something wrong.
right?
I thought her memory was a little bit off because, she could have been like in her 50s, and that's like an old person when you're like 10, right?
Right. Well, what
Or
about your
40.
Nelson Mandela experience? How did you kind of rationalize that in your brain? Did you think
I
maybe?
couldn't, so I had to stop thinking about it. I took the download. I never believed that he did die in 2013, 24, or did die in 1987, which is what I remember. I'm an early Nelson Mandela death, Mandela affected person. Some people believe he died in 91,
Which was
but
in a
I
book or
remember,
something too. Somebody,
yeah,
yeah, which is
it was in
strange.
that book called English Alive that they use in South Africa to teach them school children English. And it said that there was a huge national mourning and outpouring in 1991 when Nelson Mandela died.
I wonder what
So
the
that's,
kids think when they read that. Like what that,
I bet they
what?
pulled it by now. I bet it's gone.
Yeah, because unless the kids aren't reading the books, one of them had to go to their teacher and say, what's going on here? Isn't this the president? Was it his dad? Or, what's going on?"
So, like when my mom we'd be driving in the car somewhere, and then the radio, we always listen to the radio, and they'd go, "Oh, this famous old actor just died," and she'd be like, "No way, he died 2 years ago," and I'd be like, "Mom, your memory." I just didn't believe that she was right and that the news on the radio was wrong. How could the news coming out of a box be wrong, right?
Right. So do you think, and that's not much has changed, right? But as far as things changing, do you think, because we talk about these converging timelines where maybe people come back to life because the timelines are sort of compressing and maybe they weren't alive on your timeline, but another one got merged in with our timeline, right? Maybe that's why we see merging letters and extending letters
I totally agree. I think it's all merging. I don't think
and
it's
it's been going on a
jumping.
while though, right?
A long time. Who knows how long? Maybe there's just something in the human psyche that prevents you from acknowledging these changes. Like you see them all day long, all every year, and you just ignore it. Ignore, because it upsets your paradigm of reality. And our paradigm of reality came from other people. And what the heck do they know that we don't know? So our whole reality paradigm could be based completely on falsehood.
Completely.
Yeah.
Think of how much we just trust. And our lives are so short that how much we get to experience firsthand is. I feel like I've experienced a lot, between like, the whole 9/11 thing, and there's just it hasn't been boring in my
No,
life.
it now there's one thing that kind of bugs me. In that book, I don't know if you read 1984 by George Orwell. Pardon me, losing my voice. There's this thing called political speak,
Hmm.
where you just say something, and even if it's false, you say it as if it's true. And if you say it often enough, it is true. And for years, truthers who used to be called conspiracy theorists, until all the conspiracies wound up being true. Now we're truthers, right? Or
Right.
most of them are true. Um, they've been saying, I'm really woke. He's woke. She's woke. They've been using woke to mean red pill, blue pill, like in the Matrix. Like, did you take the red pill? Are you awake now? And you see the hidden machinations going on,
Yeah.
and you're aware of kind of the real reality that you live in, not just the the TV and movie reality that they present to us.
Hmm.
They've stolen our word. Now, all over social media, woke means leftist, extreme liberal who wants to, it's called cancel culture. They don't, they want to cancel everything. And I'm not criticizing them because I'm not a left right person. I'm just saying that's what they're using our term woke to mean. Woke means extreme, what was it, reactionary, and you want nobody to think for themselves. You don't want anybody to make up their own minds and opinions. You'll decide for them, and you'll cancel everything so they don't think the wrong thing. That's not what woke means. What do you guys think about that?
That's funny that you said that, because that word's gone in my pile of words I won't use, because I've heard it used so many ways recently that I was like, I don't think I want to use that word for anything, because
I
it's
know, I
clearly
can't use
been,
it
it's
anymore.
like the artificial awakened word or something, you know what I mean?
I think it was done on purpose.
Oh,
I
for
have a
sure.
conspiracy about that. I think they it caught on, and they thought, you know what, we're going to take this word woke and we're going to
Absolutely.
completely flip it
Right.
to
That way, when
mean
people look up to see what it means, what does it mean to be woke? Oh,
what
this
does it
is
mean to
what it
be woke.
means. We're
I'm
going to
woke.
cancel people. Huh? I don't want to
We're going
get
to cancel
canceled.
everything.
Yeah.
And it means the opposite. They're making it mean the opposite of what the word actually means. They're saying that if you're woke, you don't want anybody to think independently. So you're asleep. So
Right.
woke means asleep now.
Right. They can spin anything, and like all of the even all the fact checkers and stuff, when you look into any of them, you're like, well, what did they find wrong with this? And you look, and they're like spin doctors, man. It's like, what? I
They
mean,
can't even find things wrong sometimes. Sometimes they even verify that what you read was right, and they go, but it was partly untrue. And then they don't tell you the part that's untrue.
right. Or you get into reading, and you're like, wait, this is worse than what they portrayed it to be. It just wasn't exactly how they spelled it out. You know what I mean? Like, say you call something one thing, and that's not a precise name for it, but the actual name for it would have been worse if they had used that. That would be enough to, put the mark on there. But people don't research it. They see that, and they're like, it must be not
And
true.
I'm still allowed on Facebook. I'm amazed that I'm still allowed on Facebook. Not that I go on there a lot, but I've got a few people, and I'm mostly public posts, but I'm not real active on Facebook. And I was trying to write about or link an article or video about this famous um, I can't say the word, doctor that worked with the famous foundation, saying this has to stop now. And it was the person who had created all of well, they didn't even work, the Ebola vaccines in the early days. They're not really solid.
Hmm.
And every time I tried to put it up, I got stopped. I couldn't even put it up and have it removed. I just couldn't post it. Somehow his name had gone into the algorithms, and anything to do with him wouldn't go up. It was like, you know, so I mean, I'm gonna say this. We are human, whether we're going to 5D or not, we are human. And part of being human is social political structures. I don't know how we could live outside of them in a 3D world. I don't know. I think even a 5D world might have a structure around it in which a bunch of individual beings get to cooperate together.
Hmm.
There's going to be some kind of a matrix or structure that they create, right?
Probably, yeah.
And this is a repeat of our history. if you studied World War II. First, it started with the propaganda, and lies became truth, and truth became lies, and then they stopped people from speaking. And after they got away with that, and everybody was like, yeah, we're cool with that, they started to gather them up. And when they got away with that, and everybody was like, yeah, we're cool with that, they're not getting me, then they started to kill them. So, yes, we want to keep our minds in 5D and high vibing, but we also want to be responsible for the matrix within our where we are. This is our matrix. So we got to fix it. We got to make it better. Let's not abandon it and turn our back on it and say, to hell with 3D Earth. I'm hoping I'll be in 5D next month, next year, next lifetime. Right? So I think it's time to kind of take a look. And the wonderful thing about today is that they have organized worldwide gatherings, they're called. They're not protests. They're not overtly political. They're not left versus right. They're not black versus white. They're not male versus female. Everybody's welcome to gather all around the world today for medical freedom. How cool is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that, yeah, your bloodstream is your bloodstream. Your body is your body. And as long as you're not harming another, I know that gets into the controversial women's rights and abortion issues, which I'm not going to go there because that's a personal thing. Each person has to decide, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's your body and it's your life, how much control do you want to have over that? And how much control are you willing to give away?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So gatherings, that's people meeting and talking.
Right. That's absolutely a good thing, people getting together like that. And with this type of, getting back to what you said about World War II and compared to right now, it's like we're all I don't even want to say the word, but we're all involved with this. And it's an information, I can't say that word either.
I know the word. Everybody get the word psychically from Shane.
I keep hearing the red flags going off. So yeah.
No, we can't say certain words without losing the video or the stream.
And if you think of how they do certain people that try to make a stand, the whole cancel thing you're talking about, they pay people to make phone calls to places, right? So we can do that organically. I mean, there's enough of us that we can call those 3 letters that gave
we can do that.
The temporary rights, because what they're sticking in people's arm right now isn't even approved yet. It's still under.
It's not approved.
Right.
So legally, I've been reading legally, it cannot be forced until it is approved. So it cannot be forced on anybody. It has to be by, okay, I'll go along with that. You have to cooperate because it's not approved.
But in order for it to still operate under this, they call it the EAU, EUA, Emergency Use Authorization. Under that, it's only if the benefits outweigh the alternative. So if enough people called in asking questions about why this hasn't been pulled yet, then...
Yeah, I do.
And then calling local media, they're not nearly as corrupt as the cable ones. They're your neighbors and people like this. And a lot of the times you'll see these stories come out in the local, news that don't come out, even if, it's a huge story. If it's something they don't want out there, like I think I saw one for 1,200 arrests with, in the California area, like a ring,
Yep, we got it.
A human ring, and they took, it was this huge story, never made it on cable news. Like, so there's a lot of suppression.
Local news is definitely better.
Local news is better. And then you get the word out, you ask your local news, hey, why hasn't this been reported when there's so many adverse blah, 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 and if everybody did that in their area, and then they would be kind of forced to at least mention it, and then people would start thinking, hey, this isn't like previous flu season. This is something different.
No.
You see? Because a lot of people think it's the same thing. It's just the new, approved.
No, it's not like before.
No, nothing like before.
We're in totally new territory, guys, worldwide. And that doesn't have to be a fearful thing. So you don't have to run away and do the monkey, no hear, no see, no speak, to protect your good feelings. You can raise up your feelings by taking action, like you said, by making phone calls to your local council, to your state representatives, to, call the president if you want to. Everybody's got a phone number and an email, and you can voice your opinions about things. And at least at the end of the day, if things don't go the way you want them to, you can say, well, hey, I tried. I gave it my energy,
Hmm.
and I let my representatives know that this is how I want them to vote. This is how I want it to go.
Hmm.
And there's just something really empowering about that. Instead of going, well, I'm not going to do anything because it doesn't do any good anyway. And I'm not going to look at anything because it makes me really scared or sad. That's a way giving your power away completely and telling the people making the decisions for you, hey, look, they don't care. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to call us. They're not going to, they don't care. We can do whatever we want here.
But even the things outside of our sphere of influence, when we get, I mean, okay, think about this. We watch movies all the time and we allow ourselves to feel the emotions of the characters and stuff. But for some reason, when it comes to real life, we want to stop those emotions. Like, oh, wait, I
Too
don't want to
scary.
feel this. This is real.
Yeah, I know.
I'll
It
feel
is.
the movie. I don't want to feel, but that's really a suppression
That's
of that
true.
divine feminine energy because that's the feeler, that's the nurturer, that's the lover. So we want to allow that compassion to come through. We want to
Yeah,
allow the
we want
tears
to
to come
feel.
through. We don't want to stop that because that's the problem we have right now is people aren't feeling that compassion. But what I like to do is if it's
Or
something
they're
outside,
just too afraid to be compassionate.
right?
Maybe they want to be the hero, but not in real life because it's too scary.
Hmm. But outside of your sphere of influence, when you're like, well, if I was that doctor, I blah 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 blah, and or whatever, because we see things all the time, we get triggered. But sit with that a little bit, and what would you do, and play that out in your mind. What would you do, and put that in the energy, put that in the consciousness, put that idea out there. We're all connected because that might just
That's a
if
good
enough
point.
people do that, it's gonna affect that person. Just like
Visualize yourself as if you're in a movie doing what you want your character to do. And maybe that's enough to change the matrix. That's
exactly.
a very good point,
You put it
Shane.
in the energy. You're putting it out
You
in the
put it in
field.
the energy, you
Yeah.
put it in the field by imagining it, meditating on it, much more effective than running away and saying, this is too scary. I can't look at it. I can't listen to it. Although, if you are that much of an empath, it's probably a good thing that you're not looking at it and getting involved every day. But, you
But
came to
not feel
Earth.
bad about it if you do, and you
Yeah,
and
not
you
feel bad
and you
about it.
feel emotions to feel them, and it's okay. But to take that and transmute it with your thoughts of a higher thought of how it's benefiting or what good can come from it. You can always work it through in your mind. You know.
But if 99% of the world's population are empaths,
Yeah.
then the 1% have it in the bag. They can do whatever they want to humanity, the earth, because they have to have people who are empathetic, but also willing to stand up and stop what doesn't feel right,
Right.
you know?
Thank God
And
we're not all the same because there is a large group of people that's brave and able to look at things and they won't turn their back on it. Whatever
even
it
if it
is.
costs them their lives, there's
Exactly.
doctors coming out all the time now, and they know it's dangerous to do what they're doing. And I'm just like so proud of them. And so, I knew the doctors would rally. I just had this feeling that it's they're being too quiet. At some point, the doctors are going to say enough is enough. So 75,000 of them have signed the Brighton Accord, which you put me onto by sending me a Brighton video, but it's spelled Brighteon.
Hmm.
You sent me a video from there, and they've got, 75,000 signatures, many of them doctors. So I have this hope. I can see people rising and getting together and taking peaceful actions to get the world back into balance,
Hmm.
And that makes me feel really good, really hopeful. I believe in humanity. I think they're going to fix this.
Absolutely.
We,
And
we.
just like you were just talking about those doctors, that's something I sat with before I knew they were doing that. That's one of the things I did. If I was a doctor, I'd
Oh,
find other doctors and you know what I mean? And you did it too. You said you did it like kind of subconsciously, you know? You had it in your mind,
yeah.
there's
Then
you have that
the
faith in
question is,
humanity and you know.
did we do that? And everybody else who sat there and had that faith in humanity and doctors, did they create the shift? Did we
Sure.
move it
Yeah.
along into a better
Did
place?
we give them that little dose of bravery they
That
needed?
little
That
Yeah, I remember.
yeah,
I forgot about that. We did that months ago, I
yeah,
think back in the fall.
right.
We even did a meditation on it. Yeah, we did a meditation on
Yeah.
it.
So we, and now that we look back on it, we can see they were out a while before we even saw them. They were just being censored and suppressed, right? So, oh
So
man,
this is a great opportunity. The world that we're in now is a great opportunity for us to wake up and for us to exercise our power, to exercise our individual power here. It's a great opportunity.
yeah. Okay, we're still alive. We're just making sure.
Ah, yay. So that's all we were going to say. We were like, we always want to talk about this and bring hope and
Yeah,
talk about it and give ideas for solutions, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So
Because
that
and,
there's
and then
action.
now everybody can get involved, because it's informational, you know. So
I still sit on the fence though. I'm always like, okay, energy flows where focus goes. And where you send your focus brings it more into a clearer picture. It like attracts it and defines it, right?
mhm.
The observer and the xenome effect that Cynthia's always taught us.
Yeah,
But then I realize I'm in a 3D world. I chose to come here. So I really don't feel comfortable turning my back on everything and anything and anyone that doesn't please me. You know what I mean?
oh
I
yeah,
feel a responsibility to be part of the community and to help the community be a better community.
yeah. And it's just
So
little nudges here and there, but here's the thing: it's our super weapon that we have a one-track mind. We think of it as our downfall, but really it's our super weapon because we can focus on making change like that and then move on to positive things. So I don't spend all day watching
I don't either. It
stuff.
doesn't affect me. I mean, I know that sounds terrible. I mean, I've been told I'm an empath. I feel empathetic. But thanks to Ho'oponopono, my family and I, my sister and I, have been using Ho'oponopono for a good 10 years. And it's a way to transmute those feelings when you
Hmm.
start to feel powerless or scared or like out of control, like what's going on with my world. You start doing Ho'oponopono and you start to feel strong again.
Well, tell people what
And
that is, just in case they haven't heard of it, because they,
okay. Yeah, a lot of people in our community do Ho'oponopono
yeah,
because
I
they've
do too.
emailed me.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's the Kahuna prayer that goes back at least 10,000 years. And Myrna Simeon, who brought it to the Western world in the early 1900s, she did it this way. If you feel upset about someone or something, it can be you or a family member or the news, you just start with, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Over and over and over until it feels clear and
Hmm.
clean. And that's called reconciliation. So it makes what was wrong inside of you right again. And it not only makes it good inside of you, it goes outside of you and projects that reconciliation into the outside world around you.
Hmm.
So Dr. Hugh Lin was her student, and Joe Vitale wrote a book with him, awesome book called Zero Point or Zero Wise. What was it called? Do you remember? Zero Wise. And they said it's taking the problem back to zero, whatever it is, getting it back to neutral. And they do it by saying, I'm sorry first. Morna said, I love you first. And they say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So I think both ways work. One is a male way and one is a female way. Like Morna started with I love you, like a mother would. Like a mother who's going to scold a child for doing
Right.
something wrong might start with I love you.
Right.
I do both. I do them both ways.
I just try to remember all four. I probably mix them all up all sorts of ways.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just do two. You can go, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you. You're feeling really grateful about something or
Hmm.
someone. And you can say it out loud, which gives it more kinetic energy, or you can say it in your mind,
Right.
which gives it the magnetic energy. But out loud, you get the magnetism of the heart, you get the electricity of the brain, and you get the kinetic energy of the voice.
Hmm. And that vibration goes back into your ears, so it's
And it goes out
self-sustaining.
into the universe forever.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is just like going out, 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 out. It never stops, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so you had some fun orb pictures, right?
Yeah, we
Or
had an
it's a
orb
video, right?
party. It's a video. We had a party. We had an orb party at my friend's house, and a bunch of friends turned up. These women I meditate with. I try to meditate with them at least twice a month. We have a wonderful crystal bowls player. I'll say it's at Altered Elements if you're ever in the Naples area,
Hmm.
and it's so popular you have to book in advance to get in. Now that says a
Wait, so
lot,
they're
doesn't
known
it?
for the orbs, you're saying?
Well, they do crystal bowl meditations and we join together. And since we meditate together, it kind of gets you linked up together, like our group is very
Absolutely.
linked.
Yeah.
And we decided to have an orb party where we went outside with our cameras and with our flashes on to catch the plasma energy of orbs. And we got a few orbs, but we also got some interesting lights, which I want to throw in front of your eyes because you're very knowledgeable about filming and photography and lens flares.
All right. Well, let's check it out here. Can you see that so we can look at it
Can we
together?
talk about it as it goes? Because I
Yeah.
put it on slow mo. It's only 2 minutes.
Okay. Perfect. Is there?
So
Okay. I
that could be a
muted it.
bug. Did you see that?
Let me back it up a little bit. Oh, okay.
Could be a
Yeah.
bug.
Yeah.
They call them rods, but that could be a bug or not. Now look at the lights floating around. I just thought those were lens flares. Those, and there's an orb. See that
Yep.
big, beautiful orb?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now the lights are just moving. That's cool.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Now
Okay.
it
These.
circles and then takes off.
Yeah. Those seem like something. The ones that are jumping around. See, this is they're hard to. Let me back it up a little bit and show you guys this because this will get you every time. This got me once with the sun. Okay, so notice how you got these three lights back here,
Yes.
and then these three flares from those lights, but they're not moving the same as these lights. Do you notice that?
Yep, I
Okay,
do.
so what that is, let me pause it so I can tell you. That's the actual image stabilization of your phone. It's holding the image still, but the lens flares give it away that it is actually moving around.
Okay,
Does
so
that
there's
make
something
sense?
coming up I want you to analyze for me. I mean,
Oh,
you
what
can
is
see
that?
the
That
orb.
blurry thing
That
that
was an
goes
orb.
across.
It was almost like a golden orb, the ones that you like that go all shiny.
It just looks like the predator to me. Like you know how it,
What?
well, you know how the predator is like invisible but moves across, like
Yes.
but you can see it moving. That's what I meant by the predator. Nothing evil
Oh,
there.
okay. Not like the predator was coming to eat us.
No, 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 no. I'm wondering if people have missed this or not, so I'm backing it up again. But
I
you
just
can,
thought they were fast flying orbs, but who knows? Because there's something there.
yeah, it's definitely something blurry. Moon, look, that one looked like an orb maybe going across there. Yeah,
But
that
then
one
there's
too.
just plasma moving.
Yeah, I guess that could be
Could be a
something.
bug.
There was
That
another
could
one.
be a
Yeah,
bug.
it's hard to know.
Now watch this, okay? Because it could be my phone. See those two lights that we think are lens flares
Yeah. Oh,
way
but
up
that
high?
isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now watch what it does. It goes down low and you can see the plasma around it. It'll cross in front of that woman's black trousers. You'll see more plasma and go over to the lady in green. And I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
moving my camera. So watch what happens now. There it goes. It shoots over, and you can see my camera's steady. And it's got plasma around it, like what you said, Shane, when you said there's something there.
Yeah.
Now watch it go in front of the black trousers. Look, that's a lot of plasma. There was a big orb, by the way.
Yeah. That's wild. Very wild.
What do you think about those? I don't think those are lens flares moving from one person to the other because my camera's still. It's really zooming. And then it'll go back in the middle and you can see plasma around the with the black behind it. See? There it is. It's got a big circle around it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Okay. So, what looks like these three, I believe, are these three, but there's something with it moving around with it. Do you notice that?
Yeah, and I'm not moving my camera. So why would those three lights from the lens, the lights behind us move around the screen?
Well, if you notice, like as I scrub through this, see how your camera goes from left to right? So
Yes.
the lens flares are always opposite. of the screen, and because you're right in the middle, they really zoomed over there. Since the lights are right in the middle.
So what is that fuzzy, cloudy image around them?
I wish it would stay bright while I did it. There's something there that's so
Do you
weird.
see that? Do you see how the black trousers fade
Yeah.
out?
Yep.
Because there's something around.
Oh,
See
you
that
know what
big
it
orange?
might be? It might be that this is so bright. Maybe the haze is around. Is it around that one dot? Let me look at that real quick. I don't think it stayed with that dot though, did it? Does it stay with the brightest dot? Nope. See, that
It
kind of goes
stays
up
the
there.
haze. I think the haze, no, it doesn't. The dot moves around in the haze, but the
See it
haze is
now? It's down
staying.
here. See, it was
Yeah, but
below it there, and it's moving
it
up.
morphs.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's not. Just the shiny ones are the lens flares. This other thing
So
going around is.
what is that? It's like there's definitely,
Did you see how it split right there? Like part of it stayed with the light and part of it split off. Like right at
yes.
the very end, you can see it shoots up and around and behind that lady with the black
I thought that
trousers.
was an orb shooting up. Go back and see if that's an orb shooting up through it. I think an orb went through it. Watch. There comes the
Oh,
orb,
yep, it
runs
comes
right
around
through it.
here. Yeah, okay.
And the orb is flying around my friend in the black trousers.
Yep, there's one that flew up there too.
But there's something plasma-y, cloudy around those little lights. And I think those little lights might just be showing it up. Don't you think? Maybe?
Possibly. Yeah, it's hard to know. It
Lots of
definitely
orbs, though. Lots of
definitely
orbs
looks
out
like
there.
something's going on there.
Did you notice the size of those orbs? Were so much bigger than our orbs in ESETI. Do you remember in ESETI we had lots of orb pictures and they were small?
Right?
Those orbs were ginormous. They were like the size of pumpkins.
And those they look like they were far away and going behind her and stuff, and they were still pretty big and translucent too.
Huge, and they were going around people.
Yeah.
You know, they were zooming around.
I imagine being out there with all the meditation, all the singing bowls, it's probably a good place to be for.
Well, the thing was, we do that in one place, and this was in another place, but the people who meditate together regularly went to the other place and brought that energy there. It was definitely the people connected bringing that energy out. And we were singing and laughing and dancing like we did at ESETI
Hmm.
to kind of get that energy moving around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it loves, this elemental energy, whatever it is, loves singing. It loves happiness. It
Yeah.
loves joy.
Even the craft seemed to come in more when you're sort of calling out in a playful way, and you know,
Definitely, definitely. And especially when you're doing the Stephen Greer stuff and inviting them, which he is calling, what is it, CE5?
hmm.
Close Encounters 5, which means you invite them to come
Right.
and talk to you or meet with you. Yeah.
Okay, so I got to tell you about. Let's see if I can find that video here. Okay, so I was watching this. Actually, Angela from ESETI with her son Christopher
Yep.
that was contacting her from the other side. She sent me this video, and it's by Sonia Rinaldi. I actually put. Actually, let me bring this up, and I'll just turn the sound off. And I'll show you a few of her images because it's so neat. And this, like I said, this is. Let me put this up here. I'm going to share my screen.
I've seen some of her really cool orbs that are more like spirit.
From Angela?
Yeah. And Christopher.
Very cool. Okay, so it's this video by Sonia Rinaldi. Actually, the video is from We Don't Die Radio. So this is the
Oh,
setup she uses. She uses like this egg thing here. Let me go full screen for everybody else too.
what is that egg?
It's just like a plastic Easter egg that she cut a hole in it,
Oh,
and
okay.
then she has like a humidifier. Like, oops, I didn't know it was actually rolling. Anyway, so she's able to capture apparitions. So she uses these little projectors, like a I don't know, like a movie screen projector, but a little miniature
Uh-huh.
one, and it just shines out color static.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so look at some of these images of these people that have come through it.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This is what came through, and then they think it was this kid right
Do
here.
they talk to the person, and then the person like goes into the egg and then can be seen?
I'm not really. They have several things. I'm going to be honest with you. I watched like 40 minutes of it, and I was like, oh my god, I got to go try this.
It's pretty amazing. Are you going to do it? Are you going to get like an egg and
so I got.
figure out?
So I just used what I have, and let me turn this off, so I can show everybody. Okay, so you're. I'm trying to make sure that you can see too.
Thank you. I mean, they say they're around us all the time,
Let's see here.
but in another dimension, so we can't really see them. Some people can.
Right. So I just took this oil, essential oil diffuser. You see that?
I see it.
And you can like take the top off of it, and it
Oh,
changes
okay.
changes colors or whatever. So I just used what I had here, and this is what I was able to do. I took that. I took this box and I put it over it. It's my salt lamp box that I just cut
Okay.
the ends out, so that it allows me to set this on top of it. It's like a gigantic
Oh,
glass. They call it a hurricane or something.
yeah, a hurricane lamp.
Right.
You're supposed to put your candle in there so it doesn't blow out.
Right. So I just put this over it, over the box, and just
Oh,
let the vapors go up in there. I put my camera on a tripod, and this is what I've got so far. Right. So I plan on upgrading to using the static thing, but I'm just using the light of the actual essential oil thing right now. Right. So let me share the screen, and I want to share some of these images because.
what'd you do? Did you start filming it on your phone? Did you
Yep, I
just
just
start
put my.
videoing it?
Yep, and then I played it back in slow motion, frame by frame, to see if I caught anything. And I've been catching all sorts of stuff. In fact, I catch too much stuff. I'm getting an abundance of stuff that they're all running together. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. So let me go to your screen with you. And, okay. So I'm going to show you, let's see, you can see this, right?
I can.
Okay, the one on the right, I photoshopped and colored it just to make out. But this is
That's one of your
the
images?
one on the left is just how it looked. And then I tried to, but
Whoa.
you can see the mouth and the teeth and the
The
nose and
eyes, the
eyes.
nose,
Now, actually, this thing in the middle of
the
the eye, I thought
neck.
it was like a curl coming around, but it's actually the eye of another face that's coming through. And this is what you run into. You run into too many faces to where it's hard to get one without the other. Look, there's another eye here. I just noticed an eye there and
I
an
can
eye
see
there.
a couple of faces.
A
The one
perfect
on the
eye.
top looks like an alien face, the one on the top.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, but the one on the bottom looks like a woman.
Yeah, so isn't that crazy? I mean, I couldn't believe this. I got this within like the first few seconds, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So,
Did you talk to them? Did you say, hello, if anybody's in the room, can you please go into my hurricane lamp?
no, actually, I'm always constantly talking to my team, but I didn't really
What
do.
is that? That looks like a wormhole or something. That bright light on the top?
This is the top of the hurricane where the light's hitting it up at the top. But if you notice, is this messing up here?
But it looks like a portal. It looks different to the lights below it. Yeah, I see the face. I see the nose. Oh my God, it looks like an older, chubby gentleman, an older
Yeah, with
man.
gray in his beard, even it looks like maybe.
Yeah.
And you can see the
Look
shine
at
on
that
his lip.
mouth.
See the shine on it? And look, there's dots for the eyes. Now, could
Oh
this
my
possibly just
gosh.
be essential oil? You know what I mean?
No, they're using the medium to be seen. It's like,
Absolutely. And I've had interactions like I want to say telepathically or psychically, but I'll just explain it to you really fast here. Let me pull up the next one. This
that's
one.
amazing.
I looked at this
Oh
one.
my
The
gosh.
one on the left is how it came, and then I just went and kind of highlighted to make out the face because some people were having trouble seeing it. But
So
this
that's not Escoban. It's not a dead drug dealer, right?
no, and that's funny you said that because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that like Charles Manson? And I distinctly heard in my brain Frank Zappa, right? And I'm like, Frank Zappa, and I look it up, and it looks like him. So I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
who Frank Zappa is. I'm not a
I
fan,
do.
but
Very, very famous and a very switched on, awake individual in his life.
so for anybody who doesn't know who he is, just look at a few of these images, and it looks like it could totally be this guy.
Oh my God, with that mustache and
Yeah,
everything and hair. And
Yeah,
plus,
look
you're
at
a
this.
musician, and Frank Zappa's a musician, so of course you're going to call musicians around you.
That's what I was thinking, but I looked at when he died. He died 2 days after my mom. I don't know if she liked him or listened to him or anything like that, but I thought that was
Maybe.
strange that he died 2 days after my mom, and he's got a movie coming out on Thanksgiving this year. There's a movie coming out about him. He died, a long time ago,
Can
but
you show us the image of him again? Because that's uncanny.
yeah, let me.
And if you guys listen to Dark, oh my gosh, I'm going to go for Zappa. Definitely looks like Frank Zappa.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's crazy. How'd you get it to go orange? Did you put the orange in it?
That my essential oil light just changes colors slowly,
Okay.
so it just happened to be orange at that time, and it looks like his hair's all wild and stuff.
If you
And
catch the Dark Wolf Den's show this week, he does rock musicians and ETs. So he
um,
talks about all the rock musicians who came forward and said they had, oh my God, there's a dog in that one,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So the one on the
Oh
left is
my
is
gosh.
how it looked, and then nobody was seeing how I was seeing it. So, but it's important to kind of see how it looks, how I drew it. But the face, like this
I
kid
can see the
looks,
face of both of them. Yeah.
yeah, he looks more like the Sixth Sense kid. But when you're sort of trying to fill in the gaps, you can only do
With
so
his
much. But
dog. Do you know who that is? Did you find out?
no, I have no idea. But you can see the collar. I mean, look at the hair going over the
Oh,
collar.
Shane, these are incredible.
Look at that face. Look at the
Oh,
smile. When you
and
really look, it starts to come out so clearly. You can even almost
it's
see
so
teeth.
clear. Look at the little ears and nose on the dog and the eye. These are super clear.
It's so wild, isn't it? Look at that's just.
Unbelievable. They're so good.
So you probably didn't even know what I was sending you. Okay, this one's really cool. Check this out. This is I haven't got to highlight it, but you can make it out pretty good. There's a monkey. There's several apes. I call this the Planet of
That's
the
what I
Apes one.
thought. I thought it was an ape.
Yeah, look at the ear way back
And
here.
gorilla. I see a gorilla with the gorilla nose.
Yep, down here or up
A
here.
little bit higher up there. Yeah,
Okay,
I see
yeah.
a
So
gorilla nose
here's
there.
one here, a big one, and then there's one here. There's another one here. So I'll give you guys a second to try to make it out. Takes a second.
I
Okay.
see. I see it.
It's actually better smaller. Look at you can see that big brow right there in the
Yeah, it
top of the
makes it
head.
dark, darker.
Yeah.
That is incredible. These are amazing pictures.
But I mean,
You
how could
found
this be essential oil? I mean, look at the eyes. I mean,
so what we need
seriously.
to do is get you and your gear over into one of the most haunted buildings in America and then set it up there and see what kind of images you get in a super strong paranormal haunted place. Oh my gosh,
I think this
that
is
is
the red
crazy.
skeleton. This is me highlighting what I was seeing over here, but there's
The
several
hat.
faces. Yeah. There's several faces coming through on this one. These dots are, I added some dots to make the autofocus have something to focus on because it kept focusing, going out of focus. But once
I can
again,
see him.
you can see what is messing this face up from looking right. That is an actual. There's another face there, and it's putting this line that's messing up the way this face looks. See, and then
Well, are
there's
you
putting this
catching
thing on his
multiple
cheek.
dimensions?
Yeah,
Are you seeing people in different dimensions in one space?
that's what's so interesting. I actually think there's three things going on here. Let me see if that was the last one. The monkey, the big man. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's
You
all
know,
of them.
you've got something here. You've got something here that ghost hunters with all of their television shows do not have. And that's a homemade mechanism in which to view apparitions.
I'm gonna bring
Like,
it back.
that's super cool.
Let's see.
So Sherry wants me to go to the Myrtle Plantation with her, which isn't too far from her home, and it's like the most one of the most haunted places in America.
This would be
It
easy enough to set up anywhere for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a B&B and it's got all the original furniture, but one of the ghosts is not very happy and she tends to push people down the stairs. I don't blame her. She was killed in the house and she was not treated very well. She was like a slave of the house owner and at least she got them back after death, if not in life.
Right.
But I don't think she'd push us down the stairs because we're pretty nice people.
Well, I'm thinking. Let's see. I was just making sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. So let's see. Essential oils probably help keep it positive. Oh, you know what else? And this might be
Yeah,
contributing to it as well.
that's a good point.
Is that I've got just beneath that back there. I've got like all of the crystals everyone sent me. I've got like that Oregon one from Joe and the stones from Janet. So I've got all this energy that loving
Oh,
energy
plus
from
you meditate there.
yeah,
You've been meditating there for over 3 years. And Lynn McTaggart in The Power of Eight says if you meditate in one place, it becomes sacred and high energy. Remember?
right,
Like a church?
yeah, and even in my regular meditation time too. So it's a good spot, and I feel like there's like too much. You know what I mean? It's hard to. I need to figure out how to thin it out. I think there's three things going on here, though. I think one, you can view into the field, and it could. A lot of people probably just blow it off as like pareidolia. It's in the pixels. The pixels are being
What's
manipulated.
pareidolia? I've not heard that one.
Pareidolia is like when you're looking at the clouds and you see a bunny rabbit, or
Yep.
your brain is just creating it.
Images.
Right. And then we'll see with these images that we do see. There's a theory, the Gestalt theory, and that's that your brain is
I've
able
read about that.
to complete. You know, so I've been noticing
Our,
the
ma-
more
our
I do
mind
this.
puts in the bits that are missing.
Right.
So,
Right.
like if you see stars that kind of look like a bear, it doesn't really, but your mind fills in the blanks.
Right. But when it comes
Yeah.
to this, it's almost like your perceptions can be altered, and you can be allowed, if you will, to see. So there's a very a psychic component along with it, like the way I heard Frank Zappa just pop out, and the
Oh my
same way
God, it
with Red
looks like him.
Skelton. I totally forgot about Red Skelton. I used to
I
watch that
totally
when I was
forgot about
a
him.
little kid with my mom, and he
Watched all his
certainly
old
didn't look
movies.
like it until I was able to start pulling out the details, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it totally looks like it could be him with the silly face that he's.
I'm like, your invention is good enough for a ghost hunting show to take it around the country
Well,
and
that's what that
film.
lady did. So anybody interested in, I mean, her
Yeah.
her images are way better than what I'm getting. But I just got
I don't
started.
know. I like yours.
I just
Yours,
got
I mean,
started.
not to take anything away from her work. Your images are so good. They're so cool.
It's so now you see why I've been busy. So thank you for
So
that. But
we
I've been busy going through frame by frame, and I see so much, and it's like, what do I use? I mean, what do I pick out of all of this stuff to even show? Because some of it isn't as easy. Like the monkey one, you got to kind of got to get in
Oh
there
my
and
God,
show
that
it.
was definitely like an ape or gorilla.
But I see all sorts of stuff, animals, all sorts of animals. I'm thinking pets maybe. But I think there's three things. So I think you've got sort of the background filled, whatever the imagination, when you think and you come up with something, I think you can film some of that. I think that's in the background. Any kind of entity in the room, like present, I think you can get that to get picked up from the pixelation, the compression within the video seems to. It's hard to explain it, but whenever it's slightly changing, it shows anything that's added to it. So it can actually detect beings in the room and stuff, which is really cool. I had no idea.
You've seen those cameras that follow people around a room and
With a
they
little
leave,
stick.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they leave a trace of their energy everywhere they go.
Hmm.
Kind of like that movie Interstellar did
Right.
as well. It was really cool, but strange movie. So what if everything that's alive could be an ape or a human or a dog or a bug leaves a trace of that energy there forever. And then when you go through time, which is linear, you leave trace upon trace upon trace upon trace. Because think of all the animals and alive beings that have walked in your space where you are right now
Hmm.
for the last million years.
Right. Well, I was just
That's a heck of
plunging.
a lot of energy.
It was kind of if the Mandela effect hadn't happened to me and some of the other stuff since the Mandela effect, this would have been a huge eye-opening experience. But I already knew all this stuff existed, so to start seeing it was like it was a real big wow factor, but creepy at the same time in a
Oh,
sense.
so
You know what I
cool
mean?
though.
But
And the
so cool,
colors. And then
right?
it's in different colors. Like one is blue and one's purple and one's orange. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like you could do a real TV show with your apparatus
It
getting
seems to,
apparitions.
yeah. It seems to like when how the colors change slowly. It seems to like use that a lot when it's transitioning from one color to the next. There's a lot of times when stuff will start popping up, and
Oh,
I'm
and
not
like
sure.
we were talking with the IMEC open tables that we did this week, and that's over on International Mandela Effect channel.
Yeah, you guys should check that out
Col-
if you didn't see it.
yeah, really fun show. And the colors aren't really there. Your eye is picking up a frequency and interpreting it as a color.
Yeah.
So what's there is a frequency.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we had to learn about that in art. That like a red shirt is only red because it's reflecting the red rays, basically.
So maybe your apparitions are using the frequency in the lamp of the colors to help appear, to help themselves appear to you.
Yeah. In fact,
Wow.
the more I notice it, they're able to like use stuff at every step of the way, right? Like they're able to use the actual steam itself, the vapors, They're able
Yep.
to use the compression within the camera that's filming it, the compression within the software. Once you move it to your computer and you start manipulating stuff there, you'll see things in the little pixels, from the compression. Whenever it groups stuff together to save on memory, it creates it sees things that you normally can't see. It's kind of
Maybe
like,
that's how our whole matrix works. What you're describing to me sounds like a theory of the matrix of the universe.
well, this all ties into my work with randomness, right? So these lights aren't really random. They're random to us, but like at any moment you can say, any movie. As long as you don't pick something obvious, something you just watched or whatever, the city you're from, whatever the thing is, if you try to grab something random out of your mind, you have no idea where that comes. It comes from your higher self, I think, you know?
I think so too. It's funny because Dolores Cannon switched from, she used to, in her earlier books, she used to call it um, a lower self, subconscious mind. And then she thought it was the group subconscious mind, the collective. And then right before she died, she said, no, 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 this is the higher consciousness, the collective higher consciousness of humanity
Right,
that is coming through all the QHHT
right,
hypnotized people. Because like one person would tell her one thing in one state, and then 6 months later in another state, somebody else would pick up where the other person left off.
right.
So
I
she's
love
like,
that.
this is a group consciousness that she was communicating with.
Which is absolutely amazing. So the other missing component that the lady has in the video I don't have is that little projector. I'm just using the light of the, you
You
know,
don't need it. You got enough. You don't need the projector because you get 3D images already out of your vaporizer and lamp.
it's crazy, isn't it? But
Oh, it's
she
awesome.
actually gets color video. If you go look at hers, you can see them smiling. I've gotten a few frames. I got one. Oh, I wanted to pull that up for you guys. It's 2 frames. It's a baby from the side, profile view, looking up. You can see his little fat lip with a shine, because it's like kind of hanging open, and you can see him like look up within the 2 frames. But that was going to be in there
Okay,
too.
so
I must have
so
missed it.
maybe these are beings in another dimension, or maybe it's the energy left behind from the being who lived in your spot 40 years ago, 100 years ago, 300 years ago. You have no idea. That baby could have existed exactly where you are 300 years ago and
Exactly.
just left that little trace of energy behind, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's crazy. Cute
Gosh.
little baby.
Except for Frank Zappa. We know Frank Zappa wasn't probably in your living room at any point. So that's like more of a being apparition coming to you, being drawn
Wouldn't it be
to you.
crazy if I looked it up and he had lived over here? Because I'm right
Oh
by
my
where the
God.
Outsiders were filmed. I don't know anything about him, so I figured it out finally where I probably saw his name, the same place I saw ABBA. Whenever I'd go to buy CDs and tapes and stuff back in the day, you got ABBA was always first. I'm sure he was always at the other end. So
Of course. Because it was all alphabetized
right,
to buy albums, to buy records.
right. So I'm sure I've seen him, but I didn't know who he was. And
I
certainly
did.
not enough
I
for
knew
that
who he
name to
was.
pop in my head like that. I was like. And when I Googled it and his face popped up, I got chills because I'm like, oh my gosh, that really looks like the
That
guy.
really is him. No kidding with that mustache. That's why I was thinking like some famous drug runner, because I'm trying to think, where
Escobar.
have I seen that mustache before?
That's funny. Pablo Escobar. That's like when they had that where you put your picture in there and they find a celebrity you look alike.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's who popped up for me was Pablo Escobar. I was
No.
like an 80% match with him. I was
Are
like,
you
what?
kidding?
Out of all the
What?
people? Oh my gosh. I'm
I've
gonna
seen
set
people
off
on
the alarms in
TikTok.
the airport and stuff.
I've seen people on TikTok with those filters on, and they always, it's funny who they look like. It's usually insulting as well.
Yeah.
Or I've been seeing these filters of become a princess, become a Disney princess, and they're putting them on their dogs and their cats, and then suddenly their dogs and cats have these big eyes, and they're just blinking their eyelashes. It's so funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, my kids do that stuff all the time. All the time.
I am really enjoying TikTok. I have to tell you, I've missed out on TikTok my whole life, and there's some stuff on there I don't like, and
It's
like
pretty
it
new
kind of
though,
bumps
right?
into me. Yeah, but TikTok is it's the people on screen. That's all I can say. If you haven't tried TikTok, you will be offended at some point, I'm sure, because that's the nature of the reality. You're not going to agree with everybody and like everything, right?
Oh, you're probably seeing some TikTok stuff I haven't seen. The only thing I've seen is from like my nephew and my kids send me stuff, and it's usually something funny or silly or something. It's
Very funny. I never realized that the people are this funny. I always thought comedians are funny and actors, and you have to like be funny. But if you watch TikTok, people are funny.
I realized it with comments under videos. Oh my gosh, sometimes you can just if there's oh my gosh, people are
Oh,
so
the
funny.
comments are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the TikTok comments are definitely worth looking at.
Oh, they've got comments too, so I bet that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
their
Yeah,
comments are awesome. Very funny.
that's
But you're going to
awesome.
see stuff on there, political or otherwise, that might upset you. And if you ever see anything that doesn't look appropriate, you just report it right away. You just hit report, and as soon as they get a few reports, boom, it's gone.
Okay.
Oh God, if I was an alien, I would definitely be watching TikTok to understand humanity. I'd be up there on my ship going, let's watch TikTok and see what people are getting up to.
Right. Now, isn't it like limited to a couple of minutes or something on TikTok?
It's you can string like 4 or 5 of them together, but it is limited. It's kind of like Vines. Do you remember? But
Right,
Vines
right.
were only 7 seconds. These are longer.
Like a
These are
minute or
definitely
two.
longer. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a minute.
Right.
And then you can string 5 or 6 of them together, so you can actually have a 6-minute video if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what I love about it are the duets. Have you seen those?
No.
So I pick up your TikTok and then I put it in mine and I hit record, and then it takes a picture of me responding to you. And then somebody picks up those two and puts it in their TikTok account, and then it picks up them. So you can have all these people responding to somebody who's a tiny little piece of the video, and
Oh,
it's just so creative.
wow. Nope, I haven't seen those. That's wild.
I'm laughing because the one that I saw today, everybody on TikTok has seen. Somebody very creatively, very okay, might be a bit disrespectful, but it is kind of funny. Had the video of Biden walking up the steps to the airplane to Air Force One, where he couldn't get up the steps,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept falling down and kept falling down. That's not funny. That's disrespectful, right?
Right.
And then they put next to it Trump on a golf course hitting a golf ball so hard that it hits Biden on the head, hits him in the back, hits him on the shoulders, and every time Trump's golf ball hits him, he falls. I mean, come on, that is
It's
that
creative.
is slapstick. That's
Yeah,
slapstick humor.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, nowadays, you don't want to get offended by anything. I mean, there's so much funny stuff if you can just, get beyond the being offended part of it.
Yeah,
But it's easy to get too attached to things, isn't it?
it is. It is. But the pendulum swings, guys. The pendulum swings. So the opposite of this swing is going to be lots of freedom, lots of creative expression, individual power,
Mm-hmm.
not being offended because other people have different views. That's where we're going to go from this, because I think we're at one extreme now, and it's getting ready to say, hey, this is as far as we can go. Let's swing back.
Yeah, in a way, it's really a good thing because it seems like our generation really had to understand what freedom is about and to appreciate the freedom. And it's almost like the younger you are, the more you kind of take it for granted. You're like, of course, everybody can say what they want and do what they want to do. And then it's like now they're starting to realize, like, wait a minute, I thought that stuff everybody gets to be free and say what they want, and
Yeah.
it's in our Constitution and so on. And then you're like, well, this is all backwards, you know what I mean?
Why is
But
it going away? I'm
right,
like,
but you don't
we learned all
appreciate
this stuff
you don't
during World
appreciate
War
it until it's
II.
gone. Do you know what I mean? So in a way,
Did you ever think it could leave again, Shane? Did you
no,
ever
never,
think that these simple, basic freedoms could go away?
absolutely not.
I was like, no way could we ever lose what we've gained, you know?
So that's the
And we
upside
won't.
of it, though. That's the upside.
We
Is
won't because people will react to it. Eventually, enough people are going to do enough to get it back, to get the freedom back.
right.
I haven't given up on humanity. I know we're gonna fix this.
And even I feel like a lot of the other parts of the world are looking to us to take that big stand. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because we've been turned into the world's military police. We have 800 overseas bases, and our nearest competitor is actually Russia still, not North Korea or China, and they have 40 overseas bases. So if you look at 800 overseas military bases supported by the American taxpayer versus 40, you soon realize that it's so out of balance that it must be used for a different reason.
Right.
It's not there to protect us from Russia. It's there to implement banking laws, basically. Here we go. I think you're allowed to say bank and not get banned.
Seashore.
I don't.
You just got
I
to
don't
say
know
other
if
words that make the algorithm ocean, bank, seashore. You know.
bank, seashore, or I don't think you can say banksters, but I like those words.
I don't
Illuma
have closed
donkeys.
captioning
That one's
on.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
I didn't make that one up, but I thought it was cute.
So what are you thinking as far as our power of intention and
I'm thinking of showing you guys a crystal first and then doing the meditation. So
yeah, let's
I
see the
got this
crystal.
crystal. It's so cool. It has a black triangle in it. It has a TR3B in it. So I will put it close. I don't know if you can see that.
That is
Isn't
cool.
that cool? And it kind of wraps around the side. This black um, internal stone that's obviously different to the matrix of the crystal. Look how dark that is.
It's very cool. That is that
It is cool.
quartz?
Yeah, it's clear crystal quartz with black in it, which, I don't know what that is. I could ask my friend who has a crystal shop. She knows them all. I'll bring that into my next meditation and ask her what's inside of it.
Do you know where that originated from?
Nope, I got it at a fair, kind of a Unity Church crystal card reader fair,
Oh, that sounds
which
cool.
is kind of cool because it's, mixing religion with spirituality, with metaphysics.
Yeah.
And they didn't know. They had no clue what this was and what was in it. But I've seen four TR3Bs. I've seen four black triangle craft since moving to the area in 2014.
Wow.
And they're silent and they're big. And when I see them, I wave like crazy just so the pilots know they're not invisible. I'm like, I see you.
Like turn on the cloaking device.
She can see us. She's waving at us. What's wrong with our cloaking device?
Oh my goodness.
What do you guys want to do a meditation on? God, there's so much happening. What do you feel like?
Freedom.
We've done ET contact. We've done that. We've done healing the earth many, many, many times. Never get too
We've
much of that.
probably
We've
done
done air.
freedom
We've done
most
water.
times.
We've done freedom. We've done removing the
Peace.
fear.
Yeah.
We've done peace. Communication. Should we do one on open free speech for the whole world?
Yeah.
No censorship and no cancel culture?
Yeah.
We haven't done that.
Perfect. Nobody gets canceled except for our enemies. I'm just playing.
Cancel. Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, if you got to play fair, then you can't cancel the bad guys because they've got rights too.
Absolutely. But that's what makes
Cool.
everything so nice and dynamic is, I mean, imagine if everybody was just like you or me. You know, I mean, it doesn't sound like a very fun world. Even though I like myself, I don't want 9 billion of me.
No, no, that definitely would work. And then when you realize that you are everybody and everybody is you, you're like, wow, I'm so diverse. I never
Right.
knew I was so diverse.
Right? And you can always see yourself in other people, can't you? I mean, at some level, even when somebody does something wrong to you, you're like, yeah, that's somebody kind of in a different way, but same
That goes
tenet,
back to
same religion.
Ho'oponopono. It's taking responsibility to create the restitution. So when I see something I don't like, I'm like, I didn't realize I was capable of that. So let me take on the responsibility of it and let me clear it
Yeah.
and clean it for everybody.
And that's what we're doing, clearing and cleaning.
Clearing and cleaning.
That's awesome.
Okie dokie. So I'll put my video on pause and then I'll go quiet and have a drink of water, and then we'll do our group meditation that we like to thank Lynn McTaggart for, from the Power of Eight, for inspiring us a whole 3 years ago. We started
Absolutely.
3 years ago this April.
That's awesome.
So there we go. I'm just going to go quiet for a second. Okie dokie. So I might even just like pull the mic a little bit closer because I tend to speak quieter when we do our group meditations, our group intentions, our group prayers. So just get really, really comfortable. Make sure you're not driving or walking or doing something that needs your immediate attention. And just kind of relax into whatever is holding you and supporting you. And just really feel your muscles let go and allow that support to be strong enough to kind of hold you up so you can kind of melt into it. And then take a nice, deep, relaxing breath in and then hold it for just a few moments. Oxygenate those cells and exhale out fully. And if you like, you can sigh, a nice, deep sigh. Take another deep, relaxing breath in. Hold it again for just a few moments, what's comfortable. And this time, exhale out any tension or stiffness anywhere in the body. Just let it go. And take a third deep, relaxing breath in. Really fill up your abdomen, the lower lungs, fill them up. Hold it and let it all go. And now we're going to do our heart maths breath, which is breathing in through the heart and exhaling through the heart. Imagine breathing in through the heart chakra and exhaling at a pace that is really comfortable for you. You don't have to hold it. And now, if you like, you can start to take in a beautiful, vibrant, healing, energizing, clearing and cleaning color. Breathe that color in through your heart center and exhale that color back out. And now, as you breathe that beautiful color in through your heart, let it fill up your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, down your arms and out your fingers. And exhale that color back out. And now you're going to allow the room that you're in to fill with that color. Whatever color you chose right now is the color that you needed most. It's the chakra that needs the most energy right now. And we're going to send down a grounding cord if you haven't done that yet. It comes out of your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, ruby red. And it goes down through the building. It goes down through the crust of the earth. Very quickly, a beam of light going straight down through all of the different layers of the earth until it gets to the center. And when it gets to the core, the heart of the earth, it shoots out in all directions like the roots of a tree. And now you are completely safe and completely grounded. And if you like, you can take the color you were working with today and just put a bubble of light around you. And that's just a little bit more cushioning, protection, clearing, and cleaning. So now we're going to hold hands in the future, in the past, and in the present, virtually, in our imagination. We're going to connect our hearts, our minds. We're going to allow ourselves to feel the unity that we already have between each and every one of us. And we're going to imagine together that we're living in a world that we collectively call Earth. We're in the here and we're in the now. And communication is open. Communication is free. It's flowing like light. It's flowing out of us, and it's flowing back into us from others. You can open up that communication if you like right now with your higher self. And you can imagine your higher self easily communicating with you 24/7, all the time, no separation. You can also open up that communication, if you wish, with your spirit guides or your cosmic family, angels or God. And now we're going to imagine together that this group called humanity on Earth, which is a high functioning, high consciousness of Earth, it's the thinking part of Earth, is allowing for open, clear communication amongst all of us right here, right now. So there are fewer misunderstandings, fewer people getting triggered, more acceptance, more allowance of others' opinions. Let's start to allow other people to be free in their thoughts and to really understand that as long as it doesn't harm others, then we should be able to allow other people to think and feel and speak and express themselves in a way that they choose, so long as it's not harmful. I guess that means we need to relax. We're now relaxing all of humanity. All of humanity is starting to relax and let go of anger or fear in response to communication. And now let's start working on the authorities, the people who have placed themselves with our acceptance and our allowance in charge of media, in charge of education, in charge of politics and government. And let's see them expressing more clearly from their heart center, from their heart chakra. And let's tie that heart energy to their vocal cords, and then go ahead and tie in their brain energy and their third eye to their vocal cords. Let's help the people in charge that we either put them in charge or we allowed them to take control of communication on Earth. Let's help them kind of integrate the spiritual centers in their communication. And now they're starting to relax. They're not feeling so tense and fearful and wanting to control everything and everyone. Now let's see you communicating with your loved ones, your colleagues, your friends, your neighbors. And go ahead and relax. Allow yourself to relax so that you feel comfortable allowing others to express themselves freely without judging, without reacting. All of those reactions against open and free communication are reactions based in fear, and you've moved beyond that. So you can allow other people to express their feelings, their thoughts, their desires, their fears, their hopes, their dreams, without feeling that you need to change what they think, judge what they say, fear what they express. Just relax and allow them to express themselves. And we're going to go silent now, and we're going to intend, pray, and meditate silently together for 3 minutes in just immersing ourselves and the world in open, free, clear, heart-based communication. Okay, so now just very gently and softly start to come back firmly into your body. Start to move your feet, your hands, your legs, your neck. And when you open your eyes, you will feel very refreshed, very awake, and very strong.
And we are back.
Yay. Well, I think we went into a time warp because I felt 3 minutes went by and only 1 minute went by. I'm like, huh? Because I
Oh,
have to
really?
peek at my clock here, so I bring us back in 3 minutes.
It seemed like it could have been 3 minutes. I wasn't watching the clock.
Yeah, I felt like 3 minutes went by in 1 minute. I mean, Lynn McTaggart in The Power of Eight will have you doing that for like a minimum of 10 minutes.
Oh.
And we just felt like we couldn't do 10 minutes of silence on like radio or on, video.
Right.
It's like people would pop in and go, oh, there's nothing there. It's dead air.
Or like, when did I come in on the 10 minutes of silence? Yeah, I put the 3 minutes of silence on the screen, but I was like into it, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't put that on the screen yet. So it took me a second. Because both times you said relax, oh my gosh, I felt this relaxation just come over me. Both
Yeah.
times. It felt really great.
It sometimes helps to listen to others so your mind can disengage and then you can just do what they're saying. But like we said, we really trust each other because we know that we know each other, and we know our intentions. So I only do some guided meditations. Like I'm a little nervous about subliminals. I'm like, what do those subliminals really say? I don't know the person, you
Right.
know? But
Yeah.
I know you guys and you guys know us.
Right.
So it's okay to just listen and let your body disengage the mind so you can really just do it.
Absolutely. And you're great at doing it. I wish I could be so, like on the
Oh,
fly
thank
like that.
you.
That's
I've been
awesome.
meditating for like 30, 40 years. And at one point, I was meditating 2 hours, 3 hours a day. And I started just blowing the electricity in my house in England because all the wiring was from the 1940s.
Oh,
And
wow.
so finally, in a village, they said, you know what? We're going to come out and rewire your house to the transformer because when your house goes out, half your street goes out. And I'd be knocking it out every day, just meditating, not
Hey, I
meaning
think your
to.
sister's here.
Hey,
Green Arts.
Leslie.
Angelus Green Arts. Isn't that your sister?
No,
Yeah.
no, she's LJE now.
Oh, okay.
But I know Angela. Hello, Angela's Green
Yeah,
Arts.
she's saying it's been about a year.
We're sis stars, as in April taught me that. Sis
Yeah,
star.
sis
Get it?
stars.
Like we're from the same stars.
Absolutely.
So I have one sister here in the flesh, and I have quite a few sis stars that hang out with us.
We're just one big happy family here.
Just one big happy family.
Love you guys so much. Thanks for joining us today. And Eileen, thank you so much for bringing us together with this meditation. Like I said,
Oh, thank you.
and your voice is so great for it too. When you pull your
Oh,
mic up,
good,
it lets those lower frequencies come through, and you got a great
good.
voice for it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's a real gift to me. You guys meditating with me once a month is a real gift to me. It goes both ways.
Yeah, it's a gift for the world, even
Yeah.
those that don't realize.
And thank you, Lynn McTaggart, for teaching us that. I did her master class with my sister. So we were doing this a lot with a lot of people live. And then you and I were doing it every week with everybody, remember?
Yeah,
I just needed to get onto a once a month schedule because once a week was just a little bit much for me.
it's draining, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you
And
never
when I
know.
do
It's like it's kind of like rolling the dice. Sometimes you'll walk away feeling so peaceful and drained, like you got to take a
I
nap.
want to go to sleep.
Yeah, other
Yep.
times you might feel amped up, so it's really hard to know what it's going to even be like
I'm
when you
feeling
tap
kind of
in.
amped up only because I relaxed so much through it. I was like so relaxed that
Yeah.
now I feel like I've had a little nap.
Yep. So you never know. And then 5 minutes from now, you could be like, oh gosh. But I'm glad you told me about the magnesium, and I need to get the word out about that because I don't know how many times I've probably taken magnesium and felt that really sleepiness come over me and
Yeah.
thought didn't realize. I had no idea because
Take it at night.
yeah,
Yeah.
I take it whenever I get heart palpitations. So it's kind of like, so
And
that
they
could be
do.
any time.
Magnesium does stop heart palpitations. And
Yeah.
magnesium is so good for the heart.
Yeah.
I take as much magnesium as I do calcium now. How about you?
Yeah, the doctor told me years ago, I guess in '09, he says people have way higher percentage chance of surviving any kind of anything, trauma, heart attack or anything like that if they're not deficient in their magnesium. He said
And
it's
now it
so
seems
hard if,
vitamin D. It's like we got to up our magnesium and up our zinc and up our vitamin D. Those seem to be the three things that are really important right now.
and sunlight's important. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I go out and I get like 15 minutes of sunlight a day, and I'm starting to get like really freckled. Like the bits because I'm Irish, the bits that show to the sun are getting super, super freckly. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to have to ignore it.
hey, you got to enjoy the sun when you can, right?
Yep, yep. I
And
mean,
you're
not
down
that
in
freckles are
Florida,
bad,
so
but they teach you like, oh, put sunscreen on, get out of the sun, because they're more like, at my age, they're not like cute little freckles. They're much bigger. They're like sunspots. Yeah,
hmm
getting sunspots.
it's awesome. It's awesome because it's change. It's light being infused in your skin. I mean, there's always a
Yeah.
positive side to it. I've actually been doing that in the with my bath water. I'll do it whenever the sunlight's streaming into where the bath water is running through the sunlight.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if it helps, but I intuitively did it, and
Yeah,
it feels like it
definitely.
helps. I mean, just like putting the intention, because I already put the intention in the water, but it
Oh,
seems
yeah,
like
that
when
is
it's
definitely
with the
solar
sunlight too.
energizing your
Yeah, oh,
water.
yeah, yeah.
I think
So
we can do it without the sunlight, but when you see the sunlight doing it, it like convinces you it's
yeah,
being done.
that's what I was gonna say. It's more of a psychological thing, I think, because it feels like
Yeah.
it's putting so much more into it when it's the sun. But that alone, me feeling that way, will do that. So
So I stand out in
it's
the
a
sun for
win-win.
15 minutes every day, and then I open up my solar plexus chakras etherically and physically. But you open up the etheric one first to kind of downplay the energies that you don't want and boost and amp up the energies that you do want. I learned that from an old Tibetan meditation from the Bon or BAN religion. And it said, start with your chakras in the etheric because they amp up things that you need and they downplay things that you don't need. It's
Mm,
kind of like a modulator or
mm,
a filter.
I guess so.
And then
Because
you just soak that into your solar plexus and shoot it up your chakras and out the top of your head. Shoot it down your chakras and out your root chakra and just let the sun just energize your entire body.
awesome. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely try that.
And heal, balance, clear, clean, energize. Those are the words that you're using while you're soaking up all that solar energy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I always imagine this rainbow vortex in the water, and I do that with the drinking water too. With my
Yeah, you're very big with the rainbows. And the rainbow color is the color of Archangel Raziel.
mm,
So look up Raziel because Raziel is all about esoteric understanding.
oh,
Mm.
okay.
And it involves all the colors of the rainbow,
And
that
how do you
angel.
how do you spell it? A what?
Raz or Z
Oh, okay.
IEL. Because El on the
Right.
end of every angel means of God because it
Right.
was El Ohim.
Right.
So Michael, Gabriel, Raziel,
Yeah. My two
Ariel.
kids. My two kids, Gabrielle and Ezekiel too.
There you go. There you go. So look up Raziel because you've mentioned rainbows to me like so many times. Like I can't even count how many times you talk about rainbows.
Oh
So
yeah, the iridescence everywhere in the clouds and I see it everywhere. You know.
I think there's a message in there for you. Take a look at Raziel because he could be your guardian angel.
Absolutely.
He
I'll
or
check it
she.
out.
Because the angels really aren't male or female, you
Hmm.
know. So
Androgynous beings.
you just powerful beings. Yeah. Somebody once said, I think it was my nephew, we were talking about that these are the aspects of God. And they all have names.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I don't know how long we've been going here. Let's see. Oh, only an hour and a half.
There you go. That sounds good. That feels about right.
Yeah, that's good. And I really appreciate you being here again, and we'll do
Thank
this
you. I
again next
appreciate
month, you
you,
guys. We
Shane.
haven't nailed down a date yet, but we
You'll
definitely
pick
wanted
a
to hit
good date.
the Equinox was a good date. We knew,
Oh
hands down,
yeah,
and
that's
it
why
was
we
a
felt so
Saturday.
relaxed.
Yeah,
Because we had that equinox energy boosting our intention.
yeah. So I love it. And then there's all sorts of other ones. Wasn't there another one going on today? Uh,
Oh, yeah.
who was it that was doing one today?
I think it was Unity. Is that what it's called on Facebook? I saved it. Oops, I keep going by it.
Trying to think of who all. Let me check the chat because you guys are good about knowing.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, please take this time to put something in the chat if you know of any other meditations today that you think we might want to join in. You can put in the chat or the comments below.
The
Hey,
only thing I
Caleb.
know,
Good to see you, buddy.
who's that, Caleb?
Yeah.
Hey, Caleb. Unify the World. It's on Facebook, and they've got some things going on this weekend.
I know
Do
there's
you
one
guys
at
need
2
Unify
Pacific
the World?
time I saw. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's almost like 5 at night. So it's probably coming up here in the next hour or two.
I get a lot of meditation notifications for World Meditations off Unify the World, and they send it straight to your email, but I think they're on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, my friend.
Thank you, and thank you everybody out there doing this with us.
Yep. Lots of love, light, and unity to each and every one of you. We'll see you again.
Much love. Mwah.
Peace.
Bye.